Mostly Summercraft here. Today I've got a simple project that I've already got turned, and what I want to share with you is the finishing process. What I'm going to do is ebonize it with a propane torch. I'm going to burn it with a propane torch. Then I'm going to take a wire brush to it to pull out the carbon from the soft grain, and then I'm going to seal it. Then I'm going to apply Hampshire sheen silver embellishing wax. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this plain piece of oak transform into something quite spectacular. Okay, so always clear the shavings and anything too flammable from the area when you're doing this, because this could start a fire in your shop and you certainly don't want that. So I do have a fire extinguisher just behind me. This has been sanded to 320 grit. I sanded it as you would normally on a lathe, and then with the grain as well. It's at this stage you want to get yourself a soft wire brush, brass or copper wire brush, I think it is. I think it's a brass wire brush, and just go with the grain just to pull out that soft wood, just with the grain. Now you want to pull out as much of this as you possibly can. Because you want to reveal the open grain. Still doing it. You can go backwards and forwards the other way. Just stay with the grain. This piece has got some splits in it, which could in fact add character. I think there was some moisture in this piece of wood. That would make sense. Okay, so bringing you in for a much closer look, you can see the grain is open and there's some cracks in there. Some quite significant ones there. But I'm okay with that. It's just going to add some character to it. So what I'm going to do is take some sanding sealer, which is shellac mixed with denatured alcohol, and just seal this all in. I'm going to give it a good 2 or 3 coats all over and allow them to dry. This is before I put the embellishing wax on. Okay, so this piece of red oak has been turned and burnt and sealed. It has cracked in a couple of spots. I'm not too concerned about that. It's just going to be a feature. And as you can see, it's warped a little bit. When I move it, it's warped a little bit. I actually re-drilled this just to make sure that the insert here will fit into it. So before I remove it or part it off, just make sure that that will go in there. so that when you put your live flower in there you can have water in there. So that's that. Now what I have to do is choose an embellishing colour, and that's quite a selection. We've got gold, silver, bronze, black, white, electric green and electric blue at the end. You don't have to just choose one. You could apply one and then apply a second and a third. You could mix it, so you've got the base which is gold and the top is silver. You could do all kinds of artistic things with these, but today I'm just going to go with the silver. Okay, so we'll just pop the lid off of this tin of Hampshire Sheen silver embellishing wax, and as you can see it's more of a graphite silver than a bright silver, but it really does come up nice. Now you don't want to apply too much because then you're just going to have to wipe it all off again, because you just want to get it into the open areas of the wood more than on the surfaces of the wood. You want to make sure you work it in really good, get it into all those open areas, make sure it's in there real good. Okay, little circle motions to get it in. Not too concerned about those big cracks. We're not going to fill those with wax. Circle motions, go in every direction, make sure that they're all filled. And you can always go back and add more. And we'll do the rim as well. Now it's important to seal it with sanding sealer prior to this, because you'll end up with the charcoal, the soot from the burning process will blend with the wax, and you'll just get a dirty color instead of a solid color like this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start to take this back off again. So with a clean paper towel, we're going to go from one side to the next, and then another clean paper towel, very nice. Now the finish that I'm going to put on this is actually going to be spray lacquer on top of wax. That's right. So a lot of people think you can't put spray lacquer on top of Hampshire Sheen products. Well, you can, because the amount of product that's on here is so little, it's not going to create an issue. Okay, so that is now done. I'm satisfied with that. I think that looks very nice. The insert does go in before I part it off, and what I think I'm going to do first is spray lacquer this while it's on the lathe, and then we'll part it off. Okay, so there it is with 3 coats of clear lacquer on it. I still have to insert that properly, and I'm going to part it off right now. And thanks for watching. There it is, the complete article. I sanded the bottom and wrote my name in there, and wood species and the year. And I just used some clear silicone to stick that lid or the insert into place, so that should stay there now. So there it is. I will leave some photos at the end so you can take a look at it. Yeah, it's got some cracks in there, it's got some features, but the embellishing wax and the ebonizing together really do make this thing pop from just regular old oak. While I was at it, that piece of wood was twice as big. I cut it in half, so I decided to turn a goblet with the other half, and I ebonized the inside of this one with Hampshire Sheen's black intrinsic dye, and on the outside I used ruby and honey, and it came out just beautiful. I'm really happy with that. I finished that with, I actually sprayed it with clear lacquer again, and then after it dried I left it overnight, and then I cut it back and finished it the usual way with Yorkshire Grit Original, Microfine, Hampshire Sheen High Gloss, and a Carna Crystalline wax stick on the outside, and that's beautifully smooth and shiny. So there it is. I'll leave some photos at the end for you guys to check out. Thank you very much for subscribing. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again for the next wood turning project. Take care now.